Here are 5 methods of apple maturity testing you may be surprised about. I have already made an in-depth video about apple iodine starch testing, which is the most common method used by the pros. So if you haven't seen it, you can have a look by searching apple starch testing like a pro. In this video, we are going to briefly show 5 other methods that pros use to test apples. Other types of apple testing besides iodine starch testing can also be effective ways of determining fruit maturity and can help to increase the accuracy of the maturity data. After many years of study, scientists would agree that the starch method of testing is quite accurate most of the time. However, it is not as exact as some would like, due to both the variability between the sugar and the actual ethylene levels in the fruit, as well as the variability due to the human interpretation of the starch pattern on the fruit. Now, for many growers, starch testing is accurate enough to get the job done, inexpensive, and also produces quick results right out in the field. Now, if you're looking to store fruit for long periods of time and want the most accurate data, you may have to combine one or more of the following methods to achieve a high accuracy of data year after year. Let's briefly chat about these other options and some simple pros and cons of each method. Number 1, color charts. Looking at both the red color and the background color can be another helpful tool in deciding when to harvest your fruit. Color is probably one of the quickest ways to get a general idea of ripeness once one knows what to look for, but it is not an exact science. The Ambrosia apple is a bicolored apple, which means that it is not supposed to be red all the way around at harvest. It will most often have a light-colored look to the skin where the sun has not had direct contact. The background color is often the best area to look at to gauge maturity, and goes from green to white or cream and then usually to yellow as the fruit continues to ripen. Having a color chart is a handy tool to help identify the changes in color as the fruit ripens. The one that I am using in this video was produced by the New Variety Development Council in Summerland. Notice the gradient in the red and white colors. All you have to do is match up the color on the apple to the chart. Now, I'll put the color charts up on the screen for you to screenshot it if you would like to have them for your reference. Number 2, pressure testing. Pressure testing the fruit can be helpful alongside starch testing, as it will give you a baseline to know how firm your fruit is at harvest and going into storage. Once the fruit is in storage, you can then use a pressure tester to continue to monitor how fast the pressure is dropping, which can indicate how quickly the fruit needs to be sold to the end consumer. If you decide to include the pressure tester as one of your maturity tools, just make sure that you test all similar fruit sizes so that your data is not skewed. Typically, smaller size fruit has higher pressure values, and larger fruit has lower pressure values. Number 3, sugar testing. Sugar testing, which is often referred to as soluble solids or Brix testing, lets you know how much sugar content is in the fruit at any given time. For fruit to taste good, minimum sugar thresholds have to be met. There are both conventional and digital measurement tools. Some commercial fruit buyers or retailers will have minimum Brix levels that they will require before the fruit can be picked and sold to the consumer. I would not recommend using this tool solely to determine harvest maturity, as the Brix values are not always predictable in a linear line. But it is certainly another good tool in the toolbox to help determine maturity parameters. Number 4, DA meter. A DA meter is a relatively new technology that can be an effective way to measure fruit maturity in a non-destructive way out in the orchard. The DA meter is a handheld device which measures different amounts of light rays on certain spectrums that are absorbed into the flesh of the apple. The measurement of the light rays correlate with the chlorophyll content in the apple to give a value or number for maturity. Careful consideration has to be made when this tool is used to make sure that the sampling method is correct, or the results may be skewed. If you're interested in finding out more information about this tool, feel free to click on the link in the description of this video. Number 5, gas chromatograph. The gas chromatograph measures the ethylene gas that gets produced by the fruit. Although this can be a very accurate method of measuring fruit maturity with some varieties of apples such as Gala, Ambrosia does not emit ethylene gas in a predictable linear manner. Therefore, it is actually not a recommended method for testing Ambrosia specifically. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and be sure to visit many of our other Ambrosia instructional videos, such as Starch Testing Like a Pro, Apple Picking Like a Pro, Apple Pruning Like a Pro, and Apple Thinning Like a Pro with Steve Brown. Thanks for watching.